Thank you very much, Nicole. I would like to welcome Rainier and Arturo. Nicole, can you join us for the panel discussion, please?
Do you want this or do you want him to have it?
Okay, perfect. So let's start with you, Nicole, and this piece. March 22nd, 2019, Tesla is accusing a former employee of stealing self-driving tech and giving it to a Chinese rival. So in the context of, apparently they didn't use dark trace, right? So in the context of something like that happening to a company like Tesla, right? And it's a company that affects technology in the world in a big way. We can see, because of the examples that you shared with us, how dark trace actually can prevent things like that happening, to seeing patterns between communications and stuff. But how does this apply, say, for example, to a small and medium business, a company, here in the DR, in Papua New Guinea, who knows?
Yeah, the Tesla one, that was just reported last week, so it's one of the more recent attacks. And that was, I mentioned this idea of insider threat. So there they had an employee who stole 300,000 files, set up an external server to remotely upload those, and then gave notice that they were leaving to go to a competing Chinese electric car company. And now that's resulting in a lawsuit between Tesla and these former employees. And as I mentioned, there are a number of ways that we would have found that, because that employee gathered up all this information, moved it laterally across the network, and then went to exfiltrate it. So there would have been at least 3 instances that our AI would have caught that and stopped it. And Tesla's a very advanced technology company. So getting to your point, how do small and mid-sized companies protect themselves? So we've deployed, I mentioned, in over 2,500 customers. Some of those include 10-employee companies. Some are 500,000 employee companies, and everything in the middle. And not all are high tech. And that's why I said it was so important that we get this so this can deploy in a cloud, on-premise, without any expertise inside the company. But also it means that you may want to have our AI cyber analysts and our own experts being able to connect into your environment in a secure way to provide 24/7 monitoring. Mm-hmm. But it also means that it needs to be priced right.
Right.
It needs to be affordable. Exactly. And so we actually offer this as kind of a software as a service, pay as you go. And what it also does is it means that if you only have 10 people in your company, you're only charged for 10 people accessing that data.
Perfect, thank you. So, Arturo, hay algo que en lo personal a mí me preocupa mucho y creo que debe de ser preocupación de todos por igual. En un tiempo récord, se dice que para alrededor del 2030, justo cuando el objetivo de ODS, la población de la República Dominicana va a crecer, va a haber crecido exponencialmente, y se habla que no en muchos años la población se duplique. Entonces, estamos hablando de la población de República Dominicana, somos un poco más de 10 millones, Haití son un poco más de 11 millones, en una isla vivimos más de 20 millones de personas. Si en 15, en 20 años se duplica la población de la isla completa, obviamente hay otros problemas como puestos de trabajo y eso, pero uno de los mayores problemas es la seguridad alimenticia de todas esas personas. Nuestra tierra es muy fértil, pero ¿cómo nosotros aseguramos que la tecnología, inteligencia artificial, por ejemplo, van a estar jugando el rol que deben y que necesitamos para poder suplir la alimentación de tantas personas? ¿Tú podrías hablar un poquito de eso?
Sí, claro. Mira, es muy complicado, de hecho lo expuse, que el tema es complejo, porque si bien es cierto, se puede invertir mucho en agricultura, pero también es cierto que la alimentación de nosotros está en manos de productores que están con escasos recursos, que están con problemas de cambio climático, con problemas de que no saben tomar buenas decisiones. Entonces, a la medida que nosotros, los que estamos trabajando con tecnología, todos los que están trabajando con tecnología entienden de que tenemos que apuntar a de qué forma podemos nosotros a través de la tecnología mejorar la toma de decisiones de ellos, yo creo que es un gran paso. Y creo que eso no se ha entendido todavía. O sea, el desafío es cómo ese pequeño productor que ya logra con mucho sacrificio comprar un sistema de riego, ese pequeño productor también logra tomar una buena decisión de cuánta agua tiene que aplicar, cuánto abono tiene que aplicar, cuánto pesticida tiene que aplicar para controlar una plaga que le permita controlarla porque no le impida poder exportar ese producto porque se lo devuelven por un exceso de químico. Entonces, ahí que está el desafío, o sea, aterrizar toda esta tecnología, todo esto complejo, de codificarlo a toma de decisiones que sean simples para el pequeño agricultor, que en definitiva son los que nos alimentan. Entonces, yo creo que por ahí va el desafío, de poder apuntar a que sean ellos los que en cierta medida nos puedan mejorar la forma de producir.
De acuerdo. Renier, tú hablaste de otras cosas, pero yo soy de los que piensa que tú no puedes hablarle de las 3 R's a una población donde por la ignorancia generalizada no entiende que el plástico no es basura, es un residuo. Entonces, por ese mismo razonamiento voy a utilizar para llevar mi pregunta a lo primero que tú hiciste con inteligencia artificial, el tema de la salud, de los brotes de epidemia, que lo sufrimos tanto y todavía es tan importante en República Dominicana. ¿Cuáles son los hurdles, las trabas existentes ahora mismo que existen en nuestro país para que nosotros podamos, vamos a decir, comenzar a ver los efectos exponenciales de la tecnología que tiene AM en beneficio de nuestra ciudadanía? Yo creo que es muy importante que hablemos un poco de eso.
Perfecto. ¿Se escucha? Sí.
Sí.
Excelente pregunta. Yo cuando inicié esto, yo juraba que la tecnología iba a ser lo difícil y los clientes o usuarios iba a ser lo fácil. Después de unos pocos meses en la industria, me di cuenta que es totalmente al revés. La tecnología es sumamente directa, o sea, es relativamente sencilla, y lo difícil es convencer o informarle incluso a personas del impacto que puede tener la inteligencia artificial, esta plataforma que mostré, en su día a día. Sobre todo, hay que tener el interés de la persona que tú quieres ayudar. En el caso de salud pública, que es una rama en la cual son los gobiernos que generalmente están trabajando en ella, en muchos casos también aseguradoras, pero principalmente gobiernos, tiene que existir ese interés de los que están en posiciones de liderazgo en esos gobiernos. Eso es número 1. Para yo poder implementar AIME, la plataforma de dengue, zika, diabetes, lo que sea, en República Dominicana, tengo que tener ese interés, a que me diga, sí, te voy a dar acceso a la data, te voy a dar acceso a que tú puedas hacer un cambio. Y mayormente nuestro trabajo en AIME, fuera de la tecnología, es visitar a esos gobiernos, hablar con líderes políticos, hablar con líderes gubernamentales, mostrarles los avances de analítica que tenemos, los estudios que hemos hecho, y ver cómo hacemos un piloto totalmente gratuito para poder empezar. En este país, en el tema de República Dominicana, no existe interés a implementar una cosa como esta. Yo he hablado con varias personas de muy alto nivel, tanto a nivel ejecutivo como ejecutivo de ministerios, y realmente hay otra prioridad sobre...
¿Qué plata? ¿Cuál es la plata?
Es bajita, vamos a decir. Y no esa prioridad, realmente me duele un poco de que no pueda implementarlo en este país. Tengo que irme literalmente al otro lado del mundo a poder cambiar cómo se trabaja en salud pública. Mi esperanza es, ahora que estamos trabajando con Plan Internacional, estamos ahora trabajando con el tema de embarazo infantil y uniones tempranas, bueno, ya se va a tener un impacto en Dominicana, pero en términos de salud pública no existe ese interés aquí todavía.
Es una pena, nos reímos, pero esa es una de las cosas que nosotros debemos de cambiar y de hacer algo al respecto. I guess this question obviously is for you, Nicole. how can AI be used to, it's from the audience, how can AI be used to predict traffic jams? Dark trace unsupervised learning method could be more successful, obviously, than traditional. Could you speak a little bit to that? Because we're suffering that, and I guess it's an answer we all want to know.
I sat in the traffic on the way from the airport.
There you go.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, case in
So
point.
it is, what's interesting is these are what we would call narrow applications of AI, very specific applications. Clearly the techniques we use of unsupervised, at its heart, that's our core one, but we also use supervised, we use deep learning, can be applied to a lot of other problems. And one of the things that's been interesting in working with our customers is a few of them requested that we create a model editor. And they said, well, you've already learned about all these interesting patterns within our companies. So couldn't we use that data set for other applications? And so we've had people use it, I think in some cases within banks, even for some fraud-related applications or fraud detection, compliance, so regulatory compliance, and I know you've got some interesting regulations coming up in the year ahead in cyber for the financial services industry. So yes, you can apply that, but I think one of the things we found is we did really well at this because we were able to combine that domain expertise we got from GCHQ and MI5 together with sitting side by side with the mathematicians, the machine learning experts. So I think to use these techniques, yes, there's a lot of the technology and the techniques that we've built that could clearly solve other problems, but you would need to combine it with people with domain expertise.
On the heels of what you just said and trying to make this a little bit more applicable to the DR, so you're saying the way to implement something like this in a society like ours, in Santo Domingo, for example, obviously you need the will of the public sector to be open to this. And let's say this is granted. Let's say we have this. What else would be the 2 or 3 most important or musts for this to be executed or done?
Yep. So, if you think back to some of the principles I discussed, so you do have to build a system that works. You need to make sure you target the right training data set. Again, I think that's a big flaw if people base it on the wrong training data set. So for example, was yesterday's traffic pattern predictive of tomorrow's? Kind of the same issue we have in cybersecurity. So, that could be where unsupervised, that's learning in real time, could be more applicable. And then it's going to come down to trust.
Okay.
So those factors remain important.
So this next question, which is from the audience, is for whomever feels comfortable with answering it. As machines become more intelligent, how can we prepare? Hackers and cyber criminals have access to AI technology. Is there a possible arms race coming as the technology matures?
In cyber, absolutely. What we don't know is exactly when. When will the attackers all of a sudden start using machine learning and AI? It's not in the too distant future. We've seen early signs of it already. You think about social engineering attacks. That's, we've had people, intercept other people's email and learn their communication patterns. Well, you could easily apply machine learning to that. So I think the real question is a matter of when. Is 2020 going to be the year, or is it 2022? So it's definitely ratcheting up to an arms race. No one really knows the exact timing.
Me encantaría que Arturo responda la misma pregunta quizás aplicada a agro y quizás tú, Reinier, aplicada a salud. Es decir, ustedes todos están utilizando la inteligencia artificial con fines obviamente positivos y de cambios exponenciales en esas áreas. Pero eso mismo, ¿qué pasa cuál es el riesgo que estamos corriendo o qué se está haciendo o qué podemos hacer, mejor dicho, es la pregunta, para que esa misma tecnología no sea utilizada en detrimento de la producción alimenticia, no sea utilizada para warfare epidemiólogos, ¿no? O sea, de epidemias.
Okay, so the easiest answer would be regulations, but in reality we know that such regulations will not pass, at least for the military. So what we must train are people who are conscious enough to realize that what they're doing could have tremendous negative effect in communities. Again, I don't think regulations will reach all of the people that we would like it to reach, even if it's by law.
Olvídate de regulaciones. Aplicado, o sea, como cosas que nosotros sí controlemos, o sea, o tú o las personas, ¿qué se podría hacer que no necesariamente esté en manos del Estado?
Lo número uno es capacitar a la persona de que lo que están haciendo tiene un potencial, tiene un riesgo.
Conciencia.
Conciencia, sobre todo. Porque, y no solamente pasa con inteligencia artificial, pero pasó también en 2000 con la burbuja de Internet, la gente no conoce un 100% lo que es. Entonces, hay que saber lo que es, hay que tener gente capacitada sobre eso en todos los sectores que se pueda ver y tener gente consciente también. Al fin del día somos una sociedad y lo que nos divide es el deseo de alguien hacer daño o no. Muchas veces se prevé por ley, pero no siempre tenemos ese beneficio o esa grandiosa, vamos a decir, oportunidad de tener una ley. Entonces, siempre puede haber alguien que use la inteligencia artificial como algo negativo, pero hay que poder saber identificarlas. Algo que sí se puede hacer en una especie de agencia gubernamental que esté siempre monitorando ese tipo de innovaciones, ese tipo de actitudes, como por ejemplo es la SEC en Estados Unidos, que monitorea todas y cada una de las transacciones financieras. Eso es lo que yo digo, básicamente, tener una autoridad, tener una regulación y tener gente consciente.
Ok, Arturo.
En el agro quizá no es tan complejo, pero donde sí la inteligencia artificial podría generar alguna ventaja sobre el pequeño agricultor, que en definitiva, ¿verdad?, es en el mercado. O sea, el acceso a la información del mercado hoy en día a través de la inteligencia artificial es mucho más acelerado. O sea, tenemos forma incluso de predecir cuál es el comportamiento, cuál va a ser el comportamiento de un grupo de personas en base a la demanda de alimentos. Esa información quizá la puede tener un gran empresario o un gran grupo de productores, pero es muy probable que este pequeño productor no tenga acceso a eso. Entonces, por ahí, democratizar un poco la información y poder hacer que esa información también llegue al pequeño agricultor podría ser una forma de equilibrar un poco la balanza y de que la inteligencia artificial no solamente beneficia a un lado del juego.
Okay, there's a question from the audience, but first, Nicole, there was another question from the audience that was along the lines of cybersecurity in the context of financial institutions. And here in the Dominican Republic, to this date, we're still suffering, a lot of financial institutions here are still suffering from their customers being the victims of phishing and things like that. Where does AI play a role in this? And you said you had a representation here, but I'm not clear if there are any institutions that are leveraging Darktrace's technology to protect themselves. And this is really important for our audience.
Absolutely. So financial institutions do make up over 1/4 of our customers. Everything from large global banks, regional banks, asset managers, private equity, pension funds as well. And I think phishing, in other words, just getting into a company through email is really still a big issue. 90% of all attacks still initiate through some form of email, whether it be a phishing attack, a social engineering attack. Lately, we've seen a lot of account takeovers, a lot of impersonation, someone pretending to be the government, the CFO, the bank.
Identity theft.
Yeah, it's identity theft. So we actually just rolled out an AI product for Office 365 about 2 months ago. And we're seeing incredible uptake and success with it because of this problem. You can keep trying to train people to not click on links in email, but you're still going to get people, especially with the sophisticated attacks, these impersonation attacks.
And we're human.
Yeah, we're human. It is the reality of it. So it is really important to start using AI to detect those attacks. We just do simple things, like if it's from a suspicious domain, take out the link. Yeah. If there's a malicious code, take out what's called the payload. just take a picture of the content so someone can still read it and still
Right.
see it,
But not click on it.
but not click on it. So there's a lot of really smart, simple techniques that we use to be able to defend against that. But we did a test, and we actually found that your basic email security that comes with the email system was only finding 4% of attacks. It's good at finding spam because spam's been at it for quite some time. So they do a good job spam filtering, but not filtering out the attacks. So you really do have to add something else into your layered email approach.
Well, that's good news that you have that solution for Office 365, which is widely used by SMBs and big
And
companies.
as far as companies here in the Dominican, absolutely. We actually have 2 partners on the ground in the Dominican Republic. We do have, I actually met with them yesterday. I asked if today I would be able to share them, but Banco Popular does use us, and obviously they have a lot of digital transformation projects going on. They're a leader, in this area. So, not surprising, they also use leading edge security.
Awesome, perfect to know. Renier, ¿te gustaría tomar esta pregunta de la audiencia? ¿Cómo se puede conseguir talento en inteligencia artificial y qué carrera o trayecto educativo se necesita para prepararse?
Para la primera parte de la pregunta, es importante saber que hacer un modelo de inteligencia artificial no es tan difícil como la gente cree que es. Incluso yo digo que programar bien es más difícil que hacer un modelo de inteligencia artificial. ¿Cómo podemos conseguir talento? Bueno, hay un número de páginas en internet donde podemos ver talento justamente sobre eso. Está Stack Overflow, está Kaggle.com, Kaggle, donde hay personas profesionales y personas que han aprendido con su experiencia sobre modelos de inteligencia artificial. Sobre el trayecto educativo, yo quiero afirmar que en tecnología, muchas veces en software, en data science, no siempre hay que contratar a alguien que haya tenido una carrera en eso, y una maestría y un doctorado. O sea, muchas de estas cosas se aprenden, uno mismo lo puede aprender solo. O sea, cualquiera puede entrar a kaggle.com, lo repito nuevamente, ahí hay tutoriales de cómo trabajar con inteligencia artificial y cualquiera puede aprender. Si quieren un trayecto educativo, yo recomendaría una ingeniería o una ciencia como grado, sistema, telemática, incluso industrial, que viven de métricas. Luego una maestría, ya sea en Data Science, y si quieren más, hasta un doctorado en Data Science también. Pero repito nuevamente, no hay que ser doctorado, no hay que ser un magíster, no hay que ser un licenciado ingeniero para poder programar o para poder crear una plataforma inteligente.
Gracias. So, Nicole, you spoke about offensive and adversarial AI. I think I speak for the audience, we're just getting a grasp of on the basics of AI, right? And we're already talking about offensive and adversarial AI. In layman's terms, and for the audience in general, because this is kind of when you sit in the audience or in a seat and you listen to someone like you guys, obviously this is very this gives us hope, right? What you guys are doing. But when you speak to these examples of things that have happened, this Tesla stuff, it's kind of overwhelming, you know, and it kind of creates anxiety in a way that's saying, oh my God, there's so much that I don't control, and I'm barely getting the grasp of this technology, and it's already leap years ahead, and perhaps doing things that are way beyond even my comprehension. How do I, as a user, I know Darktrace is a company that caters to enterprises through all tiers. But how does a person in layman's terms, in a layman's world, defend itself or tackles this huge world of AI that's coming or that's here?
So I think there's a really positive trend, and as we move into various markets and emerging markets around the world, we probably use the example, some countries didn't have full great telecommunication landline systems, and they were the first to adopt mobile. Right? And I think we're seeing some of the same when it comes to cybersecurity. So in some ways, don't be worried that you missed investing lots of time and money in technologies that don't work, right? you actually can get right on the bandwagon of the new generation, the machine learning, that's going to keep learning and keeping up with these attacks. So in many ways, it's kind of an advantage, quite frankly, if you haven't deployed the thousands of tools that are out there that are no longer keeping up with the times. But the other thing that we found was really important is we offer a free trial, 30-day free trial inside your cloud, inside your network, showing you what you might be missing. And that brings it home, and that makes it very specific to that company when you can see it in your own environment. So that, we offer it to everyone in this room. If they're interested in learning about it, we do all the heavy lifting. Again, installs in less than an hour, and in 1 week, you'll already get value from it.
I think I would like to thank all of you guys for joining us on stage for this. And now, let's go to a coffee break. We will be back at 11 with our program. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Yes.